So we're making progress with our Asteroids multiplayer version. We managed to deal with a lot of the server synchronization things that we needed to look at. And as I've been looking through the code, I've kind of noticed there's a few things that need to be just polished up a little bit, and also maybe one or two optimizations that I've seen as well. And I think the thing that's bugging me the most is the naming conventions I've used for some of the class parameters. It tries to just use initials like A instead of angle and things, and it's kind of bugging me now, really. So we're going to address that today. In fact, have I got my to-do list? So yeah, it's not really on here, but let's just do naming. But something else that we also I've noticed as well, is we put the shots in here for edges, but in actual fact, we haven't actually implemented the shots at all on the server. So we need to put that on there as well. I think that's probably it for the minute, but it's the naming I want to look at first today. So let's go back to our code. And so on the server side here, I think we create the asteroids in the setup function, which is here. I'm also thinking, why have I put the setup call there and then the heartbeat? I'm not comfortable with that. So what I'm going to do is just move this down to just before the setup function, because it just kind of makes sense. Well, I'll put it afterwards, actually. I'll put it at the end. So all the functions are declared, and then we call the setup function. Yeah, I think that looks better. Okay, so we are going to change a few things on here. Let's have a look at, I think it's the ship. The asteroids one's not too bad, but we're going to come back to this in a minute, because there's an optimization here I think I've missed the trick on, but we'll come back to that in a minute. It's this here, the A angle, UUID. What I don't know what I was thinking there. So I'm just going to tidy some of this up, and then we'll pass that back down to the client. So let's see, cons P equals, well, P's abandoned here, so I'm not bothered about that. X pulls in X, Y pulls in Y. I'm fine with that. Why is that? Argument is not assignable to parameter type string. So I've set X as a string, have I? Oh, no, parseInt is expecting a string. So if I'm, I see. So what I need is a function that converts a fraction to an integer, not a string to an integer. Okay, let's see if I can see one in math. So I've only just noticed this one already. So let's go with round, and that should just return just returns a number. So function returns the value of a number rounded to the nearest integer. That's fine. Yep, perfect. And let's do the same here. That's better. All right, cool. Okay, UUID. So new token is what gets put as the identifier in the hash. So I'm not bothered about that. But UUID I've put as U here. So again, let's just make that UUID. And angle I set to 0 to start with. So let's just say, let's call it angle. So the ones we've changed are angle and UUID. I think that's all we need to do, because everything else is managed on the client. Yeah. The only thing we do here is that, so that's fine. Okay, so that's it. So it's just angle and UUID on the client. Let's see if we can make that work here. So we have, let's see, so that's, where did we do that? That's in the heartbeat. Oh no, it's not. Where did we do that? Here. So that's in socket authenticate, and then that gets sent server param, server data. Okay, so we want the server data, socket server data, and it's players data, which is here. So we can say if player's data PU, which is now UUID, we can then do AY, so that'll be angle, and this one will be UUID. That's better than it. It's just a bit more like I know what I'm doing. So we need to put it in here as well. Get overdone there. Right, save that. So I think that's good for now. I'm gonna go on the basis that that didn't break. Although I'm now not getting something happening. So I know about that error. Oh, here we go. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. So that's worked fine. Now, as I said, the other thing is the optimization here. So we may need to change all this a bit again. So you see here with player data, what I did is just object.values and the player hash, and that got us the values without giving away the API token from a previous video. So I was thinking, well, why don't we do this with asteroids data and ultimately shots data? Thought, oh, well, asteroids data isn't an object, it's an array. And then thought, well, hang on, that is what we ended up sending back down here. Object.values returns returns an array. So I thought, well, if that's what we're sending down anyway, why am I parsing out all the different properties here with all the same names if it's just going to get passed out, if that is the array that's going to get passed down? So I kind of got thinking, well, okay, let's try this. Now, we have to kind of work from the client side backwards here, and because I don't want a collision with the naming conventions. So if I go to server data here, so here's my asteroids. So that's asteroids data here, is this on the server here. It's the naming convention. You know, obviously the JavaScripts don't cross, but the data and the names of the data objects do, and they get passed down. So I can't call this. So anything I call this here is what is got to be called here for what I'm going to do to work. So I have to look at what the collision is, and I was going to just call it asteroids here, but that will collide with what I have here as called asteroids, which is the local array. So I'm just going to say we don't need, I'm going to suggest we don't need any of that. Also, why is that there? I think that needs to be kind of nearer the top. Nearer the top of this function. I don't understand why that's there, because params is global, so that can be called anyway. So I think once we know the player exists, sorry, const player equals player if player desired. No, because we need to either establish the player or use an existing one. So I think we can put them there actually. And then, so we're passing down asteroids data. Now we know we can't call it asteroids. So what can we call it? See, here locally it's called asteroids here. So I can't just dump asteroids. So I kind of think we need to change the name of it here on the server as well. So these. So if I call this asteroid, it's not a hash though. It's not a key value pair. So if I call it asteroids array, I know it's a bit vague. And then if we look for the occurrence of asteroids, In fact, we can just call that straight to Asteroids Array. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, it just looks a bit cleaner, doesn't it? So let's have a look down here for the other one, asteroids. There we go. So if we comment out all of that, and then we can just say asteroids array. I can't see why that wouldn't work. We obviously have to make sure it matches up on the client side for name and convention purposes. But other than that, why wouldn't that work? Let's have a look here. Asteroids push. Yeah, we obviously need to change it where we add the new asteroids. So add asteroids array. Oh. So hopefully that's worked. Yeah. Let's go back to our client. Okay, so we appear to have an issue here. Oh. Yeah, definitely got an issue. So sketch 126, properties of undefined, read and length. So sketch 126. 126, yep. So, right, yeah, so this is the point now. Now what I have to do is rename that to that. And then anywhere where asteroids data is mentioned, which goes all the way to dot radius there, so I think that's the last one. Yeah. So I can now just call that asteroids array. And I think that should work. Let's give it a shout. Now, okay, this is interesting. My bit's working, but the asteroids are not moving. So I suspect something has happened with the asteroid class maybe on the server. Let's see where that function is done. So that's in the heartbeat, isn't it? Player data, const delta. Oh yeah, we got rid of the actual function here. Let me just bring that back in. Okay, asteroids array. Yeah, so we can't just do that because we have to do the move first. So, okay, let's uncomment that and then comment that. And I think if we just copy this here, the name, I think we should be good to go there. Okay, no problem with that. And that looks like something's working there. Let me just... There we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we're good to go again. So my player moves around, the asteroids are moving around, and we've just kind of tidied up a bit of this code. I don't know if we've optimized it in any way, but it certainly looks better because now I can just get rid of all this. And actually I can get rid of all that as well. Yeah, that's cool. And when we come to do the shots in a bit, we can kind of do the same thing with that as well. Okay, so I think that'll do for our tidy up here. Just let me have a quick scan through and then we can end this video after this tidy up. I mean, Generally happy with it, but I know I'll find bits and bobs as I go through. Okay, so we'll end this video here. Thanks for watching. I think we're good to move on to a bit more development on the next video now that that's done. But for now, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe as always if you liked the video and would wish to see more of this kind of video respectively. Bye for now.